Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Randomly Offensive. Today's topic is going to be Eternals. Now, The Eternals was a decent movie. It wasn't what you'd think of as a Marvel movie, which I actually kind of liked, if I'm being honest. A lot of problems with the movie, but I did like the fact that if Marvel's going to become not just a superhero genre, but almost basically their own channel and their own production of movies, you're going to want them to expand out a little bit into more than just superhero genres, which I do think this movie takes a good step into it. What I think is interesting is their advertising for the film. Their advertising was very unique. They first started out advertising it in a very woke media approach, and was praising the diversity of the cast and bragging about the fact that it was the first MCU movie that displayed a gay man-on-man kiss, and that got a lot of people not wanting to watch the movie. It got a lot of people in the defensive, thinking, oh no, another woke agenda movie, another movie that's just going to preach at me and not going to be any good. But it really was not like that. You didn't feel like you were being preached at. They did not put any emphasis on the diversity of the cast during the movie. They didn't put any emphasis on the gay kiss. It was just kind of something that just happened, and they made it feel very normal, which is, I feel like, what movies need to do. Not preach at the audience. And for the most part, this was a good movie, but that way of advertising really affected its chances. And then they did something very, very unique, which we'll go to Rotten Tomatoes and take a look at that, and I can kind of explain what they did and to kind of boost their ratings. And it was a very smart idea, very unique. I've never seen it before. Real quick, I want to go to just the top review here and kind of read what this person has to say about the movie. The visuals of The Eternals are spectacular. Yes, I definitely agree with that. They look very real and very stylish. I also applaud the film for the diversity of the cast. See, this, I don't understand. Why applaud that? Why is that something to applaud? Does it matter? I don't think it matters. I don't care how diverse you are or not, as long as you are a good actor, as long as the characters are good, as long as the movie's good. I could care less the color of your skin, as long as you can make me believe that the character that you're playing as deserves my emotions and empathy and fear and love. That is what you're supposed to do. I don't see the point. As long as the cast is good actors, I don't care. And it's funny to say that because I think that they're all good actors except for the guy that played as Icarus. What was his name? Richard Madden? Yeah, I didn't think that he was a good actor, and I wonder if they did that on purpose, because he's the only white male actor in the whole film, and he's the worst actor in the whole film. Very monotoned. He didn't deliver his lines very well. At least I didn't think so. I didn't really like him as an actor. Yeah, so let's continue with this. However, the buildup of the film is just too slow and too long. Yeah, I can kind of see that. I can see if you're going into it for a superhero movie where there's normally a lot of action, I can see how the film's a little too long and too slow. I kind of like the slow buildup, if I'm being honest. I thought it gave the climax to the movie much more heart, but alrighty. And I lost most of my interest and concentration when the final showdown begins. In addition, their one-liner jokes are a little out of place and quite contrived. Yes, I'd have to agree with that statement. It is still an entertaining film, but probably not as great as the recent Marvel films. Now, what do you mean by recent Marvel films? Because this review came out before No Way Home hit theaters, so do they mean Shang-Chi? Because I feel like Shang-Chi's on the same level as this. I mean, it's not a great movie. It's okay. It's fun to watch, but it's not a great movie. And as far as I'm concerned, it has more plot holes than The Eternals does. So what exactly do they mean by that? because I feel like it'd be unfair to compare it to Infinity War and Endgame. I feel like it's unfair to compare any Marvel movies right now to Infinity War and Endgame. And are you comparing it to the Disney Plus TV shows? I don't know. I wish they went into more detail on that one. But yeah, so let's go check out Rotten Tomatoes real quick here. Alrighty, so here at Rotten Tomatoes, you can see what I was talking about with their very unique way of saving this movie. They gave it a 47% on the tomato meter. And what that is the people who got to see it and rate it before the movie actually came out, like 1 or 2 days beforehand. And what that did, and I'm pretty sure they did it on purpose, what that did was that lowered people's expectations for the movie, for the ones who were going to see it, despite however many got chased away due to the woke approach in advertisement. And by them giving it a 47%, you know what they're doing. And the reason why is because normally when there's a movie that's pushing a woke agenda and is taking the high ground as far as they're concerned, they give it a very high percentage, right? You know, they give it 90, 97, 98%, and then the audience gives it like a 40. And they didn't do it this time, and I think why is because they wanted to lower your expectation. They needed to save this movie. And now it's at a 80 or 78%, audience score. So it worked. They lowered people's expectations. The one that did go see it, myself included, we actually did enjoy it because a lot of people, including myself, thought it was going to be crap. But it wasn't. They left out all the woke agenda, really. I mean, it was a diverse cast, but they didn't put emphasis on it. So it was a fun movie. It was a fun movie to watch. I'm going to go into spoiler territory here and start talking more in detail of the movie. What I liked about it, what I didn't like about it, give it somewhat of a review. So yeah, you have been warned. So, what I liked most about this movie is the fact that we got to see the Celestials. I thought that was really, really cool. And the way they brought the Celestials in, making the Eternals that vessel for them to be properly introduced into the MCU, I thought was great. And the Celestials, we've been waiting for them for a very long time. And now you're spouting out, theories of, is Galactus going to come, And that's very exciting. Is Galactus going to be coming into the MCU? We want to see that. Everyone wants to see that. That's going to be awesome. One of the things that I also really liked about it was just the delivery on that celestial being in the center of the earth coming out. And the graphics and the visuals of that was phenomenal. It was really great, and I felt like the characters were all really well too. Unfortunately, that is where my praise tends to stop, because I have to be fully honest, and I'm going to be fully honest. There was too many characters in this movie. You couldn't care about 10 new characters, and I think there was only one character that died that I actually felt a little bit of emotion, but then I was over it by the next scene. I wasn't stewing over that character's death. Any of the other characters that died, I wasn't too, I had no emotion whatsoever. And I had no emotion with hardly any of them. They just didn't have enough time to really shine. They didn't really have enough time to build a connection with the audience, and then you have the same issue where you have like multiple plots going. The deviant that started to evolve by consuming Eternals and becoming smart, that he should have been the lone wolf when it came to villains. He should have been the villain. And if they wanted to make him a villain, they should have saved him for a sequel. Because I know they wanted the Celestials to be the main villain of the movie, and I felt like the I felt like the other villain they had just didn't have enough screen time to really make you feel threatened by him or make you connect with him or fear him. And I feel like that's a big issue. And what I don't understand is they have Disney Plus now. They could have turned this into 9 episodes and give us 9 hours of this stuff and actually allow us to build connections with these characters and the Deviant. I feel like we should have seen that evil Deviant much more, and we should have been able to connect with him much more and understand where he was coming from and why he was evil and why he was doing the things he did, because they touched up on it just enough to make you curious, and then they killed him off, and that was disappointing, to say the least. All the hype from this movie actually comes from what it is going to create in the future and what it's going to cause in the future. And I don't know if that's good. You want the hype to be in the now. You want the hype to be about the movie that's playing on the screen now. You don't want it to build hype for the future. That's what the post-credit scenes are for. And this entire movie was just a giant post-credit scene. You just did not care about the characters. They had way too many villains. You know, Icarus became somewhat of a villain in the end, and I felt like they should have waited, and they could have done that in a sequel as well. Honestly, this movie could have been broken up into 3 movies. Everything that happened in this movie could have been broken up in a trilogy, and I feel like it would have been delivered better. I feel like it would have been just better. I think it would have hit in a deeper way, you know? And that is a missed opportunity for this cast and for this Eternal franchise. And unfortunately, because of the low ratings, because 78% is good, but it's not great. And sorry if you could hear my phone going off. But it's not great. And the amount of people that saw it, like that statistic is going off of not a whole lot of people. You know, you're not... That statistic isn't based off of the same amount of people that went and watched No Way Home. It's based off of a few amount of people because the box office didn't do all that well with this movie. And so we're probably not even going to get a sequel to this. The most we're probably going to get are these characters mingling with other characters inside the MCU. I might be surprised. We might get a sequel. But I feel like if they would have broken this up and taken their time... and intended on making a trilogy and doing everything they did in this movie with a trilogy, I felt like that would have been perfect. I feel like Icarus should have been a villain in his own movie, in a Eternals sequel, or an Eternals third movie. Or they could have just made this a Disney Plus TV show. It would have been, without a doubt, the best TV show on there. Give these guys 9 hours, you know. Within the 3rd episode, they could have taken care of the Deviant, and then that leads to Icarus being a villain. And then within the 6th episode, they defeat Icarus, and now you have 3 episodes of them fighting the Celestial. I think that would have been perfect. I think that would have been a much better way to go. They didn't go that way, and it's disappointing. I was disappointed in this movie, but I wasn't as disappointed in this movie as I would have been in other MCU movies because my expectations were lowered. And I think they knew what they were doing when they lowered all the fans' expectations. Very unique, very smart. It's nice to know that these guys are intelligent. I was starting to doubt it there for a while. But yeah, tell me in the comments what you guys thought of this movie. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you see it? Are you going to see it? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Please remember to like and subscribe and share. And yeah, you guys have a great one. Bye.